Hey, good morning, everybody. How you doing? Got on a little bit late here. It's been a great morning. Been a very, very busy morning. Just got off the phone with a good friend of mine, Joe. You guys know Joe. But texting back and forth with everybody, and just appreciating all the gifts that, man, you know, it's amazing to be able to be where it is that I'm at. Hey, good morning, John. Hey, Denise. Good morning. Hey, Karen. What's going on? Good to see you guys. Good morning. Happy Saturday, because we're all feeling like it's Sunday. It just feels like a Sunday. So to know we got a bonus day tomorrow is just great. But I just thinking about how many amazing people and amazing friends to have and be in contact with. And being able to be blessed to have the types of conversations. Hey, good morning, Joyce. Great to see you. Good morning, hon. Oh, God, it really is a gift. I treasure it. I cherish it. I'm so privileged and honored to be able to have the qualified, capable people that are just, have the capacity and the willingness and the desire to do, to act, to be better each and every moment of every day in those little subtle ways. And for people to be just looking for a little bit of guidance, a little bit of direction. Suzanne, good morning, hon. Great to see you. Just that little bit of focus, encouragement, validation, affirmation, to say that you're proud of somebody, to tell somebody how much they mean to you, how much you respect what they've accomplished, how much they inspire you, motivate you, lift you up. And for all of us to be able to recognize that with one another and to do that. We had another super spreader event last night. I think it was super spreader event number 10 for the week. So good for us. Yay. If not more. But it was a potluck dinner. And good morning, Penny. And I was invited out by Anna, which was great. I loved it. And you're not going to get into the details of where the event was or where it took place. There may have been some debauchery and hedonism that took place last night, but who cares? It was New Year's Day and we deserve it. And I could have stayed till midnight. I wanted to stay till midnight. You see the faces of the patriots and the freedom fighters and the warriors, and just the hugs and the embraces and the love and the reverence and just how highly everybody regards, and just a great, great, great time. It was awesome. So much food. Oh my God. There was steak and roast beef and mushrooms and onions and sausage, a couple different, all kinds of desserts, all kinds of chips, all kinds of water. Good morning, Em. Good morning, Destiny. Fazwang. I'm mispronouncing it. I'm sorry. Good morning, Natalie. It's great to see you. Do we have a big group for the hockey rink tomorrow at 11? I don't know, Joyce, but I am going to put it out there again. So if you want to share that with me in a text message, that'd be great. Good morning, Tim. If you share that with me, good morning, Jim. If you share that with me in a text message, and then I can just copy and paste and put it on my page. I'm going to make sure I get that invite out to all the group text messaging that I have today as well, so we have that. But there's so much food. There's so much fun. The music, the DJ, and karaoke. When is karaoke fun? Karaoke shouldn't be as fun as it is. And man, we had some voices in the group last night. Really had some voices in the group, singing great songs and just having a great time. And belly was full, completely full. The only problem the whole night was at the door from the men's bathroom. Everybody kept getting locked in it. And as people it was a lot of fun, Natalie. And as everybody got a little bit more toasty, then, it was it really was. It was so great seeing you, hon. It was such an awesome time. And I'm so grateful that family embraces me and welcomes me. And and that's just what it's about, right? It's about letting go of that pettiness. it's about letting go of that personal, maybe animus or strife that you feel towards somebody else, that envy, just letting it go and saying, this is amazing. This whole group, we all have our part, our pride, our ego, whatever it is that holds us back from being a part of something or staying a part of something like that, just to shed it. Jessica, good morning. Good to see you, Julie. And it's just special. But, oh man, the food was just so great. There's so many, salads, and I don't know if they're casseroles, if they're officially casseroles or not. There were meat casseroles. There were plenty of meat casseroles there. So much great food. But, thank you to everybody. And just to see all the faces of everybody there and just having another great time. Like all day, I'm over at my mom's super spreading, and I'm over at my dad's super spreading. And then we had, the potluck dinner super spreading. And just everybody smiling and laughing and just having fun. Because last year at this time, COVID was here. It was. And we know that because Department of Health, local, Erie County Department of Health, CDC, they were talking about it. Other news periodicals, they were talking about it. That was here from probably October, at least. They were thinking maybe sometime in August that it was here. So from August until March, it wasn't a big deal. COVID-19 posters on every single Section 8 housing, dated November 2019. We've got pictures of those. They posted them up on everybody's doors. And it was here, no big deal, no mask, nothing about wearing a mask, use hand sanitizer, make sure you sneeze into your elbow, keep things clean. That was it. Christina, what's going on? Great to see you. Jillian, oh my goodness, great to see you. Scott, great day to see you. While I have you guys on, I'm going to mention it a few more times. Today, Marching Patriots are off and Rolling Patriots are off. A handful of us are going to get together at the corner of Union and Walden, and we're going to hold the flags up. So if anybody wants to come out, if you don't have anything to do, that's going to be at 2 p.m. If it's just me, it's just me. I'm going to have the flag and the Marching Patriots flag. I have both of them out there. So Mike and Desi need a break. This isn't Marching Patriots event. This isn't a Rolling Patriots event. This is just me going out there just like Mike does sometimes, just like Joe does sometimes, and like all of us do sometimes. I'm just going out there. And if you guys want to join up with me, it's going to be at 2 p.m., the corner of Union and Walden in Cheektowaga. And at 2 p.m., feel free to join me. But going back to what I was talking about, so August of last year, nobody talking about COVID, nobody mentioning masks, nothing, no inordinate amount of deaths taking place, none. It was here. Department of Health, Erie County Department of Health, putting on Section 8 houses, every single Section 8 housing, and all across the country doing the same thing. We only got the pictures of the flyer dated November 2019 here. We had it from several people that live in Section 8 housing. And they okay, here's the document. Here it is. See what it says, COVID-19 here, and this is all you got to do is clean and use the hand sanitizer, and that's it. But then they decided to weaponize it against us. Kathy, good morning. They decided to weaponize it against us, and they all know the reason why. So when people, family members, friends, whoever want to shame us for being these so-called super spreaders, that we've been going to these events together, collecting since last August, and then together from March and April that we've been getting together. And we've had, I think, one person that got it. Hey, Joe, what's up, brother? Great conversation this morning, man. I really appreciated that. I love that. I love those conversations, guys. So never ever be afraid to pick up the phone and call. And if I don't answer right away, I'll call you back. But it was just a great conversation. It is as good for me as it is for whoever it is that I'm speaking to. Well, I hope it's good for whoever it is I'm speaking to. Maybe it's like, get this guy off the phone. But anyways, I figure if you're calling, there's got to be, you want to talk to me anyway. So it was a great call. I loved it, Joe. Thank you. But everybody bullying, intimidating, shaming, all because of the programming. all because of the brainwashing, the indoctrination, right? The normalcy bias, all of it there, day after day after day, to low information people that refuse to do any type of research at all, any investigation at all. And even when things are said by somebody like Fauci now, right? 90% of the people need to get the vaccination, no herd immunity. Well, that goes against everything you said. Well, I was lying then. Well, how do we know you're not lying now? Because you could just simply come back and say that you are treating us like children now, just like Cuomo does. Why would anybody believe anything that any of these people say? Yeah, exactly, right? I know, Scotty. Exactly. Not horrible idea. Horrible idea. Good morning, Gary. Good morning, Jake. Great to see you. Why would anybody believe Cuomo? Lie after lie. Pulling cars. Lie after lie. Do what I do. This, that. Lie. Burstein. Lie after lie. Birx, Fauci. All of them. Lie after Jerome. I forget. Our Adams is Jerome Adams. The Surgeon General. Lie after lie. Why would you believe any of them? I was doing it for your own good. The lie. The lie because you're kids. You're really kids and we got to treat you with baby gloves and we got to treat you like kids. Nonsense. Stop believing them. We are compiling all the lies for polling cars. We are compiling all the lies for Cuomo, Burstein, John Flynn. Every single time they make a statement that is an outright lie, a crime, a traitorous act, an act of treason, it is being logged and recorded by our groups. And I implore all of you to do the same. Continue to take down all the lies. Put them in your phone, put them on a pad of paper, and then when we're ready to bring this information to light, we all have it. And we're like, yep, we got that, we got that. Nope, we didn't have that, we'll add that. We didn't have that, we'll add that. They are protected by the fact that they feel like nobody's going to do anything. Who's going to do anything to them? They feel untouchable. They are the true elites. That's what they do. You know, they're protected by media because they own media. All the people that pay for the media, the same people that pay them and bribe them. Good morning, Cody. Which is why when people go, how is it that they can possibly lie? Bold-faced lie to us. Because nobody's holding them accountable. Nobody. Charles, what's going on? Great to see you. And now we're going to start to hold them accountable. One piece of the puzzle at a time. We're taking back each government office, each attorney's office, town attorney's office. Greg, what's up, brother? Great to see you. I did get your message, Greg. I'm going to respond, I promise. So thank you very much. And I appreciated the fact that you were so open and honest with me. Thank you. And we'll figure something else out. Absolutely. But it made me chuckle reading it too, so it was nice. But thank you for being so open and honest with me. I really appreciated that, Greg. Thank you. But we're going to take back every single elected office that there is in this town. Board of Elections is done. The Republican committee, what they're doing, the conservative committee, what they're doing to us, what they've been doing to us, they're done. That establishmentarianism mentality that they have, we're done. To benefit themselves, we're done. And Dan is going to be one of the big pieces of the puzzle. He's already stepped up to the plate. I'm not going to get into what he stepped up to the plate for, but he's ready. And thank you, Dan, for offering to do that. And everybody else that is here. We're going to fill. We're targeting every single position. We're rating and ranking every position. We're getting ready. We're going to start building funds for everybody. And we don't even need the campaign funds because we have all the human equity. And why do we have all the human equity? Jeff, what's up, brother? Great to see you. We have all the human equity because it's just what's right. It benefits everybody collectively as a whole. It's what's moral. It's what's virtuous. Yeah, are there going to be some things that there's multiple things that are moral and virtuous? Absolutely. And which decision did you make? But it's a whole sight lot better than it is to make a decision to spend $20 million on the remodel of a floor at City Hall or the Rath Building than it is to give $20 million to our elderly or a school, or to not take the tax money at all and then let families figure it out how to do it for themselves. If you got 100 people sitting in a highway department right now because there's no snow on the streets getting paid, well, maybe we need to figure out a better system. Parks department, same thing. Maybe we need a recreation department. Courts, people sitting there making money, millions of dollars every week, getting paid out. Teachers getting paid for sitting at home. Administrators sitting at home getting paid. And they think it's a free ride. They think it's great. And from the very beginning, what did I say? Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Beth. Great to see you guys. What did I say from the very beginning? Eventually, the money's going to run out. Scott. All right. My bad. You're right. My bad. Sorry. Ease it up on that. But eventually the money runs out. Like, where is it going to come from? To pay for the school teachers, to pay for, and all of a sudden you're going to have those people and they're going to go, well, shit, where's the money? All the businesses are shut down. It's just, and what we're going to do is we're taking it back. And what's right is right. And we're going to put the best example of what is out there, the best example of the courts, the best example of the police. And we're going to say, hey, here's this. Try to do this. This is what's working very effectively. But not only are we going to stop there, we're going to continue to research and find examples that are better. And not only are we going to continue to research and find examples that are better, we're going to take the model that's put in place here and say, keep adapting it. It's fluid. It's nimble. Make it different all the time. However you can. As long as it's improvements, keep improving it. Make it more efficient, make it more productive, make it more effective. So it's really nice to see and have those conversations that we're having, that they're trying so hard to fight. They're doing everything that they can to fight. I think about it and we take a look, and I always wondered how, the VFW Post got started, how the Legions got started, how these meeting places got, whatever they are, the Carriage House, any of these other places that were started. I wondered to myself, how and why did they get started? The different churches that are out there, how and why did they get started? What were the reasons? What were the purpose? And they are meeting points. That's what they are, for discussion. And that's how all those, and now look at how many of those places are closed. How many VFWs are closed? Not even now because of this, which they should never be closed. But before this, they started closing. The Legions and these different meeting places that they have. The Moose, I think the Moose Lodge is one of them. And, they started to close down one by one by one. Why? Because they don't want us collecting. And we've forgotten how to collect. Good morning, Robin. Great to see you. Anna, good to see you, hon. It was awesome to see you and Josh last night. I loved it. But we've forgotten how to be community. We've forgotten how to work together. We've forgotten how to be family. We've forgotten how to contribute to one another and to be happy for somebody else's accomplishments. We've forgotten that. And that's why we don't have these meeting places like we have anymore. Good morning, Sharon. Great to see you. And everything that we are doing, the super spreader events are some of the most important things that we can do. But to have places where we can collect and organize. Always. Good morning, Andy. Great to see you, brother. That is why those places were in place before. So that those discussions could be had. People could feel like they could come someplace to have a safe place to congregate. And that's why those places were there. And we need to get back to that. Some of the other things that I've thought about are even, having the gym network. You guys have heard me talk about that. And I presented that to a couple of different gym owners, Robbie included, saying that maybe we need to have a network of gyms that are more spiritually oriented as well, more, about the human experience in so many different ways. I know, Sharon, is going to be the 6th is going to be amazing. And I'll talk about that a little bit after we're done here. But these places to organize and to commune are vital and critical. And so many people have offered their homes up for it. It's so important that they've offered up, their land for it, their barns for it, everything. And we've been going there, but we need more. Hey, Heidi, what's going on? And good to see you. We have to tell, we have to be willing to do that. And with Jen, what's up? Good morning. And we have to have these places that we can congregate, where like-minded people can come into, not only for us to have that community, but what's so much more important is that we all have to be an example with these places. That's why those places were created as well. You could bring more people in. They're not meant to be cliquey, they're not to be exclusionary. They're supposed to be a place of warmth and affection and where you feel accepted. And in this coming year, as many of the groups that you have seen created and established, and all of these people coming together, what's going to happen? Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Kelly. What's going to end up happening is we are going to get back to those roots. And people aren't going to feel like they've got to be oppressed and repressed. And they've got all this government agency and this government oversight restricting them and prohibiting them. No. Because I've been telling people for years, why would you ever go get a marriage license? Why would you ever enter into a system? Why would you pay to get married? Why would you pay for a business license? Why would you do that? Don't do it. Your only way this government has any power or authority over us is if we subscribe to it. Well, Pete, they're going to shut us down. Then operate in your basement. Operate clandestinely someplace else. And, keep it quiet. Well, they're going to come in and they're going to do this and do this. So let them fine you. You're not doing anything criminal. Don't pay the fine. We're so programmed and indoctrinated that the way it is the right way and that it's supposed to be this way. And it's not. And the examples of why it doesn't have to be, just because they have passed legislation to say that this is the way it has to be, doesn't make it right. All we need to do is look at examples in other parts of the state. Good morning, Pete. Great to see you. Look at examples in other parts of the state. They don't have nearly the amount of restrictions and regulations that we do here in Erie County. And then let's go take a look at other states. Other states, they don't have even a fraction of what we have. Well, here in New York, well, tell me how it's different. Tell me how it's different. How are people here in New York as a business owner, if they don't need a license to cut hair or operate machinery over here and do this, why in New York do you need that? How are you guys doing it? How are you guys protecting people that they're not running somebody over or catching, what is it that they say what is it, HPV? There's 3 of them. You guys know which one I'm talking about, that they say as a hairdresser, you're going to catch. When is the last time somebody caught that as a hairdresser? It's right there. I'm forgetting it. But that's like the big excuse that they always give hairdressers and salon owners, that they have to get that license. Well, why in these other states don't you need it? And that's how you know if it's right or wrong. If people aren't dying in droves over there, chances are they're not going to die here. The only reason they got it is for control. And we have seen that now. And with these groups that will create in these meeting places, that will create people getting back to community, like Small Business Coalition that we've created, Breathe Free New York, and extending that out, elderly care with senior, Save Our Seniors and Keep Kids Safe. We've got We are working together with those organizations that are here if they want to work with us. And if they don't, we just create whatever it is that they're doing over here to do that. And last night I had a wonderful conversation with so many people. And one of the things that people always ask me are, how do you do it, Pete? Like, how do you just go ahead and do this? Like, well, it seems so easy, but the only reason it's difficult is because you're making it difficult. Just don't do it. Don't get that marriage license. Why would you get a marriage license ever? You want to be married to somebody? Go get married to somebody. Why would you let the state have authority? Or, well, there's a little bit of a tax benefit. Is there really? Well, she wants to make sure that if we get divorced, that she's going to get something. Well, you're marrying the wrong girl. You're marrying the wrong dude. And it extends to so many other things too as well. And I'm just going to leave it at that and make it simple, because it really does, but I don't want to go down the rabbit hole with that stuff. So last night, the conversation was had, and they go, people, and I started talking about where this whole movement was when we began. And you guys know, some of you here that were friends with me before all this went down. And you guys know, I was a keyboard warrior. There's no doubt about it. Was I getting out there and acting? Absolutely. Was I living, embodying it? Did I have nurture? Yes. Was I helping people? Yes. Was I helping people in all the ways that I could have? No, I wasn't. Well, Pete, you're restricted with time. No, I was lazy too. Or I didn't know. But then I was guided. And certain people were put in my life. Cody and Rebecca, Taylor, Gay, Bill, Joe. You take a look at all the different people that were put in my life from the very beginning, saying, Pete, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. And just kept supporting. And take a look at where we were back in April. Take a look where we were. Take a look at what President Trump was trying to do and trying to convince us that we all needed to do from before he even took office. But we all sat there. We all sat there. We had every opportunity to do what it is that... Pat, what's up? All right, Kathy, I'll get to that. I'll answer that, okay? I promise I'll answer it. And if I forget to answer it, make sure that you remind me to answer it. And what was happening? We had some of us coming together for protests. We had some of us coming up for rallies. It was very fractured. It was very fragmented. But we've had the originals. We've had the people that have been fighting forever, in this area. And we know the names, and across the state, and medical freedom, and Second Amendmenters. And we know the people that have been fighting. But we know that they could have done it a little bit better too. They knew they could have been more inclusive, more action could have been taken. And how do we know that? Because we're at the point where we're at. If everybody was, if religion, if churches were together, truly together, if small businesses were together, truly, this would have never happened. And that's where it gets back to community. Absolutely. Anna nails it, Kathy. It's one of the ways, and I'll get into some others. So, we started, and what was it? It was me. In Buffalo Police, we're having to deal with now because Antifa and BLM thugs and One Society and Push and National Lawyers Guild, right? All of these people, Western New York Liberation Collective, and all the nice little fancy loving names that they give themselves now. They're out there terrorizing and doing all of what they're doing. Buffalo Police are instructed to sit in their cars and not do anything or arrest anybody. They set it up. John Flynn, people like John Flynn, people like Polling Cars, people like all of our legislators here set it up to take away these things, to take away the fear and the apprehension that people have to commit a crime. And then Buffalo Police are put at risk. And then look at where we're at now. One person, one thought, the inception of one idea. And look at where we're at now. Marching Patriots, Rolling Patriots, FreeNewYorkState.com. Right? Breathe Free New York, keep our, save our seniors, keep kids safe, and all of these other groups that are out there that are working together. Constitutional Coalition, which has been there. 1791 Society, which has been there. So many different people that have been working so hard for so long, but not able to bring in the masses. And as a result of what has happened, so many more people are finding their homes because they felt like they couldn't be a part of different things. There was a deterrent, and what those deterrents were is that people alienated them. They didn't make them feel like they were valued with whatever group it is. Maybe they were chastised or berated in some way. Something was set off color, but now the groups are all inclusive. We don't care what your political ideology, ethnicity, background is. We don't care. Religious affiliation, everything is accepting. Judgment free. And these groups have expanded a huge. Watchmen, Proud Boys are here now. Those groups that are going to be labeled extremists and whites. Show me one act of extremism or prejudice, discrimination, bigotry, racism, supremacy that these people say they are committing. Show me one. Show it to me. Show it to me. Because I will show you things that Antifa, Black Lives Matter, Mark Poloncarz, Gail Burstein, Mark Odian, National Liberation or Western New York Liberation Collective, National Lawyers Guild, Push, Surge. Today I can go in and show you which things that they are doing that are truly bigoted. Absolutely, Scott, you know it. I could show you how all of them are truly racist. I can show you how they're all truly oppressors and repressors, and how their actions and the things that they have done and said will show you who the true white supremacists are. I can show you how Channel 7, the things that they say, how they are white supremacists, how they are racists. I can show you how Channel 4 is the same thing. I can show you how certain segments of Spectrum News and the Buffalo News show you how they're all white supremacists and racists and bigots and filled with hate. I can show you every single day how they are that way. But you know what the difference is that we don't go out there screaming, racist, racist, racist. We don't do it. Why? Because it's dumb. Because they've made a racist comment or a white supremacist comment or something that's bigoted. Does it mean that they are that way? And we're not even doing that. We don't even make those comments or those statements. But there's no value in it. We'll continue to call you, point out to everybody that you are truly that, because we're keeping that body of evidence there for everybody to see exactly how bigoted and hate-filled you guys all are. And then we're going to compare your actions and your statements that you're constantly pointing the finger at our groups. And we're going to go, well, show us where we've been extremists and white supremacists. And then what they're going to do is they're going to say, well, on this person's page, they said you were a white supremacist. Okay, so that person said I was a white supremacist. What I'm saying is, do you have anything that is proof or evidence that we are white supremacists or racists? Just show me. Show me. Show me. Well, this person said you were, and then this news article said, it's not the way it works. It's not the way it works. But that's how they try to do it. We've seen that is how they try to perpetrate it. They make an accusation, and then somebody supports it, right? And then all the media takes it, and then all of a sudden that accusation is truth and factual. That's how they operate. Good morning, Patricia. Great to see you. Show us where our groups anywhere in the country have done this, because we can show you Trump supporters that have been killed. We can show you the politicians that have called on people to act violently towards Trump supporters. We can show you all of the media personalities, the talking heads, all the Hollywood personalities, the actors and actresses. We can show you them. They're the bigots. They're prejudiced. We could show you all of their statements and acts of hate. We could show you how to Twitter, how to Facebook, Google, YouTube. We could show you how you're discriminatory, discriminatory, bigoted, and prejudiced and hate-filled. We could show you all of that, but show us where we are. And it is politics 101. What you're doing, put it on somebody else and accuse them first, because if you do that, then everybody's going to go, oh, well, they must have done it. And all we have to do is stand our ground and say, show me. Show me. Show me the proof that COVID is killing all of these people. Good morning, Lynn. Great to see you. Love it. I love it, Lynn. Absolutely. We can't wait to work with you. Jimmy, good morning. Happy Saturday. I was going to say happy Sunday again. Lynn, I cannot wait to have you be a part of this even more. Heidi, you and the kids being there was amazing. And El Haji, it's going to be amazing to have you guys a part of everything. And all of us, if we can just make that commitment to the group and one another, with one or two people, it doesn't have to be 20 or 30 people, just one or two people that you bring in. Get comfortable, get your feet wet, before you go diving in for the polar plunge. Grow those groups, grow your teams, build your own group, whatever it is, make it. Good morning, Carrie. And by doing that, with your kids, having those conversations with your kids, and I'll get into this. So I can't remember who asked earlier. Who was asking? Kathy. Kathy was asking. So Kathy, good morning, Bonnie. Great to see you. Bonnie, I know you're going to appreciate this. It's just an impromptu march. Bring your flag out. We're going to be at the corner of Union and Walden in Cheektowaga. We can park right there. There's a lot of parking all around. So we're going to do that. Absolutely, Heidi. And Heidi's going to do great things. It's going to be amazing. So when we have those family and those friends, those loved ones, those people that are close to us that are saying that we're super spreaders and all this other stuff, the best thing that you can do, I say this, there's a spectrum of 10, right? And where are we on that list? Are we a 5? It doesn't matter what your number is. Are you a 5? Okay. You can communicate effectively with a 4 and a 6. To try to communicate beyond that to a 3 or a 7 or beyond is very difficult. And we know those people, right? We know these people that are like that we try to engage. And how many times from the very beginning have you heard me say, and I had to do it. I was the biggest perpetrator. I was the one who was most guilty of it. And I said, I am not going to engage with these types of people anymore. I'm not going to do it. And then you've got the other side, well, you're creating your own echo chamber. What does that mean? Like, any of the information that you have is not factual. There's no data in it. All it is expended and wasted energy on my part because I'm trying to have a conversation with you and you're not providing anything. And even if you are providing anything, it's only to provide me with an argument to support your case because you're convinced that your source is absolutely accurate and true, which it probably isn't, and it's probably been debunked, but I'm not going to be able to convince you of that. So I stopped engaging with those people who are outside of the two numbers that are on either side of me. I stopped. And you'll know right away if you can have a conversation, a meaningful and relevant and civil discourse, healthy discourse all of a sudden. So I'm going to use a lisp from now on. Antifa Lopes, Pete turned gay. He turned gay because he doesn't want anybody to think that he's anti-gay. So he just turned gay just to show everybody, well, come on, black. I'll be black one day. And be like, he just turned black to do this. Little they know I'm part black. No, I'm just teasing. That's a joke from all my brothers. I got Kevin and Derek. I'm not going to give last names, but and Dana. We used to be able to have fun with this stuff all the time. Brother from another mother, or, share this from this. It just always joking. Always joking. That was the best part of the groups that we were in. The best part. And we still can do that. I don't enter it with any trepidation. I'm like, why am I going to be worried about, we were talking about this literally yesterday, but now we can't stop. So, you go into that conversation and you evaluate what it is they're receptive to. And you know right away, okay, I'm not going to be able to have this conversation with this person. I know I'm not going to be able to because they're elevated, they're becoming belligerent, they're spouting names, and you disengage. Immediately disengage. We always take the high road. Always take the high road. Because what's going to happen is, just like David Horton said yesterday, David Horton, if you don't know who David Horton is, amazing, amazing individual. So blessed to have that individual a part of my life. And who David is from North Carolina, and David started the Watchman down there. And David is very eloquent, and he's very thoughtful, and he's educated in a lot of different arenas through college, and he was able to put together the group of Watchmen. And what he was talking about, one of the things that he was talking about yesterday was dignity and communicating with one another in a dignified way. And something else, which you guys have heard me talk about it all the time, and David he referenced it specifically. When you have that one loudmouth, right? And that's what's happened in politics. And you guys have heard me talk about this all the time. And David was saying the same thing. You have that one loudmouth in politics, in governance, whoever it is. And they speak and communicate in a way that is convincing, right? They may, even though that they're all full of it, they're full of it. They speak in a convincing way, in a convincing manner, in a convincing tone. Cuomo, for example. Polling cars, another example. And we go through the list, right? You literally lied. We saw you do this. You're lying about it now, but they say it convincing that they haven't. Amber, great to see you, hon. Kathy, good to see you. So it's that loudmouth that's there at the table that you're having that conversation with that is so boisterous, and they talk over everybody, and that's the way they are. And what ends up happening is there's so many other people at the table that are like, this guy's so full of shit. I can't stay there. I just can't wait to get out of here. This woman, they're feeling and thinking the same thing you are. But the difference is this: they don't want to deal with it. How many times do we say, and our friends say, I didn't say anything because I just don't want to deal with it? Maria knows all too well. She does it. Hi, Maria. We've all said it. We don't want to deal with it. I haven't ever said that, but a lot of us have said that. I don't want to deal with that person's rage and that being unhinged and the insanity and just spouting off and there's a happy time and this person is there and we're just going to step back. And when we engage somebody like that, who is like that, it's very simple. Because I'm going to tell you what. The people that speak like that, they typically don't have their numbers buttoned up. They don't have their information buttoned up. So what'll happen? And you just very civilly, politely go, well, can you just provide me an example of what it is that you're saying? And what's their response going to be? Well, it's everywhere. It's in everything. They said it here and they said, I'm just asking for an example. And all of a sudden, you're going to have that person that's sitting next to you and they're going to be like, they're looking up at you and they're like under the table, they're going, and they want to, but they're stopping and they're like, well, they look back over at the other guy or the girl, and inside they're like, you motherfucker, what example? And then that person is going to be like, they're not going to have an example. They're not. And if they do, great. Okay. Well, where did you read that example? Where did you see that? Well, it's everywhere. It's common knowledge. Well, is it? Because I haven't heard of it. Lisa, what's up? I haven't heard of that. As a matter of fact, I've heard quite the contrary. And just like I think Anna just mentioned, you got to be buttoned up. You got to be prepared to have that conversation with some facts and knowledge and information. Because as much as you're expecting them to be able to provide you or requesting something of them, you should have something to respond with. And then when you do have something to respond with, they're not going to know how to respond to that. And then what's it going to do? It's going to deteriorate. And then that person who's going to be, they're going to accuse you of something, right? Well, you must be a COVIDiot, or you must be a COVID denier, right? And you don't need to engage that, because automatically everybody at the table is going to be like, what is that about? And then you just very calmly, and maybe a little passive aggressive, you go, well, it seems like you're getting elevated and escalated now. Why we can get off of this topic and off of this subject and just enjoy our dinners. You were saying this stuff, and I just simply asked a question. And you're always maintaining balance. You're always being polite, and you're always being kind. And then that person there is going to start to drive them crazy that it's not affecting you, calling you those names, right? And then you go, like, in general, I know a lot of low information people that, that they don't have all the research that's out there, give them that little bit of a dig. But if you want, I've got this information available for you. I can email it to you, or I can text it to you. And then what's their response going to be? I don't want it from any of those right-wing conspiracy theory rags. You know what I mean? Well, you could go, well, what do you trust? What do you trust? Do you trust CNN? Do you trust the CDC? Do you trust MSNBC? Who do you trust? And, I'll make sure that I source my information out for you that you're requesting from those sources. I don't want any. They're not going to find that information there anyways. And then at that point you say, well, again, it seems like you're agitated. It seems like you're getting very upset. Let's just disengage at this point and agree to disagree, and we'll go back to our dinner. And they're not going to be able to let it go. But everybody else at the table is going to be like, everybody is going to be thinking the same exact thing, because that person is that way. And even if there are other people that think and feel that same way, it may be because that person has bullied and intimidated and pushed them into thinking and feeling that way. Mark! Happy New Year, brother. Great to see you, man. I missed you. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas, brother. I can't wait. I just got the football schedule out of the teams for LA football, so I was super stoked this morning. I hope you and the family had a great holiday. Happy New Year, brother. Merry Christmas. But maybe, just maybe, people sitting at that table, even though they may, you're like, there's too many of them that think that way. But all you were was polite. All you were was courteous and kind. You were buttoned up, you were balanced, and you approached it the way that you did. Very measured, in a very measured, consistent way. And what's that person going to do at that point? And it's going to be indicative, your response. People are going to be like, I want to go talk to this guy. What do you got going on over here? You got some stuff I need? Yeah, I got some stuff. Then you can open up and it'll be a little bit more fun, because you're not dealing with psychopath, that deranged, unhinged individual that is just intent on being unhappy, and underneath the virtue signaling that they have, that social justice warrior that they have, you don't realize that they were just out before hitting whatever, right? Drinking whatever. But they're going to be there telling everybody and dictating and shaming everybody else into doing whatever, because they're unhappy. That person is probably the unhappiest person at the table. And that's another way that you can go to them. You can say to them at the table, you seem really unhappy, Do you want to talk about that? We want to talk about it after dinner? And not in, an ignorant way or, passive aggressive way, but just, being sincere about it. And again, people are going to look at you like, that's pretty cool that they would offer that. And anybody else that's at the table that isn't going to think that it's cool, that they're going to be outraged like that person is, and they want to go, whoa, this, and you go, look at it. I wasn't trying to create a situation or an issue for everybody. All I was trying to do was say, give me some examples. That's all I said. Literally all I said. Give me some examples. And the response was this. And it deteriorated into this. So Kathy, that is an approach that I take out there. But like I said, I try to not engage. If I'm a 5, I try to engage a 4 or a 6. People that are like-hearted, like-minded, like-spirited, like-souled, that they're going to have opinions that are different from me, but they can be polite and honest and courteous. They can be. And if it starts to escalate with even that 4 or that 6, you go, hey, great conversation, loved having it. Maybe we can pick it up a little bit later when we both calm down a little bit. You feel the way you do, I feel the way that we do. Been an extremely respectful conversation up until this point, and let's just pull away for now. Maybe we'll revisit it later. But thank you, and always thank them. Thank you for the information. This was very helpful, and I can't tell you how many people I've been out with. They have been polar opposites. And we walk away in a respectful way, like we've talked about here. You're welcome, Kathy. And we walk away from it respecting one another. Whether I've been at a rally, and even the downtown rallies, where you've got the people completely against us. And I'll go, hey man, how you doing? And this is something else, Kathy, too. If you do meet some of the extreme people, how you doing? And how many times we have thanked those people, and we've said, thank you for your opinion. Thank you. That hatred, that vitriol, right? They're just, they're just seeing red, ready to tear us apart, tear us down. And we go, hey, how you doing? We thank you for coming out. Thank you for expressing your freedom of speech. Thank you for exercising your freedoms. God bless you. God bless. Even if you don't believe in that, God bless you. God bless America. I do. So God bless you. I'm going to wish that on you. Positive thoughts, positive energy. And that's how we engage with everybody. That's why media, politicians, government agents, people like Mark Odian, Mark Poloncarz, Gail Burstein, that are oppressing the poorest of the poor right now, tearing apart kids' abilities to get educated, and our seniors, their right to see people of all ethnicities and all backgrounds. They are the racists. Show us one example, one where we have. And then what do? When they do find that one example that could maybe, possibly, remotely, with the biggest stretch, be seen as that act. Poof! See, I told you. And most people look at it and they go, that doesn't seem bigoted or prejudiced. That doesn't seem like that at all. I told you. But then there are those people that will believe it. We can't do anything right now about the people that believe it. All we can do is stay committed to our process. Stay committed to the way that we have been handling it. We love you. Thank you so much. Going by, F this and, fingers out the window with our kids and swearing and spitting and screaming and just so angry. We love you. Thank you for your opinion. We appreciate it. Thank you for exercising your rights. God bless you. God bless America. And it's because we've acted and behaved like that. Because it's real, it's sincere, it's uncontrived, it's genuine. So people want to be a part of that because it isn't like anything else that we have ever experienced. Churches, forget it. They're in it for themselves, Most religions are in it for themselves. I was raised Catholic. I saw it. I experience it all the time. Woman making nothing. Elderly woman in her 70s making nothing. We need your money. Can you give us some more? She's like, yeah, but I'm not going to be able to eat on Wednesday if I give you money. Yeah, but we need it. Why do you need it? And how many times that these religions have done this to people? And I don't want to call out Catholicism, but Catholicism is a huge perpetrator of it. Just like most religions are. Well, Pete, what do? If you are religious, you demand and insist your church is better. You have those conversations with elders, you have those conversations with leaders, you have those congregations with ministers and pastors and the congregation. You have those conversations with them. You can make the difference. You can be that vehicle and that mechanism to make that difference. How do I know? Because I was. Once I believed in it, and once I had that faith in it, I said, yes, I can do that. And you can, and if you're met with resistance, you keep fighting and you keep pushing forward delicately, subtly, gently, showing them how the way that they're doing things and operating and conducting themselves is detrimental to the entire congregation and you. And if that's not enough, then figure out how to go to another congregation to find out, do that exploration, figure it out. Invite others once you've found one, if you found one, and make sure that those leaders and those elders, that they stay on point, that they don't deviate from what the mission is of that church, what the objective is of that church. And if you can't find one, create one. Figure out how to build one and make it so that it is all-inclusive. That people don't feel judged or discriminated against. That they feel like their voices can be heard. Just beautiful, beautiful stuff. From the time we started to where we are now. And you see 9 months is a long time, or it's not that long time, whatever your perspective is, but we're where we're at now. With thousands and thousands of people of all backgrounds, of all abilities, of all histories, all accolades, all ethnicities, all religions, all color, all creeds. We are thousands now just in Erie County. And what's going to happen this upcoming year is going to be even greater, because what's going to start to happen is, by example, people are going to be like, why am I living miserably? Why am I living in an unhappy realm? Why don't I want to be happy? Why don't I want to try to be happy? I'm seeing these people make a difference. And how is that inspiring others to make a difference? You know, I heard about Mark Poloncarz, somebody that I know, went to school with him in Lackawanna. And, you know, he was part, gotta laugh a little bit, sorry. You know, he was part of the golf club. He was a good student. He was part of the tennis club. Sorry, gotta get up and laugh. He was a part of those things, you know. What happened to Mark to feel like he needed to take control of all of our lives? Because at some point he feels like he knows better than all of us. Either that, or it's so nefarious and corrupt that he knows what he's doing and it's intentional. And you hope that he's not that far removed. Like, you really, truly, honestly hope he's not. But his actions don't dictate that. He hires in a hiring freeze his nephew. When you're not supposed to be going to restaurants, he goes to restaurants with his mates, right? His pals, his buddies. He says, we got to wear masks, but he has 10 minutes. Restaurants have to be closed, but he goes to the restaurants that he chooses to go to. Your son and daughter can't play hockey, but he can. And how many other examples of elitism and racism and bigotry and white supremacy is he committing each and every day? Because if these are the things that we're seeing that he is doing every single day that are out there, how many, that's a fraction of what's going on. How many other things are there that he's doing? And you go, Pete, why do you focus in on Poloncarz? Because Poloncarz has the ability to eliminate and open everything up, to call off the Department of Health. He has that ability to do that. Well, Cuomo said that he's going to get rid of funding for Erie County. What funding is there that New York State is going to eliminate from us? Tell me, show me. Okay, get rid of it. Who cares? And then if we need to file a lawsuit collectively to get the money that we're entitled, then get the money. Or Stefan, guess what? He's not going to collect the money. We'll keep it here. He's not going to take it and send it into the state. Whatever's collected will stay here. Think out of the box. It's not that difficult. Stefan has been thinking out of the box. He's been doing an amazing job. Mark is just, I need to order everybody and control everybody. And Gail Burstein, let's be honest, she's a puppet. John Flynn is a problem. And I know we have one of our members that wants to take on and go for the sheriff's office, but he shouldn't be running for the sheriff's office. This individual should be running against John Flynn. Absolutely running against John Flynn, because John Flynn is a communist. Absolutely unabated, unequivocal communist. And he will use any resource he has to go after a single mother of two who is an immigrant. You better believe he's coming after you if he can. While he lets true terrorist organizations do everything that it is that they do. While he goes after single white, single black, single Asian, single Hispanic mothers and fathers, Puerto Rican fathers, Haitian mothers, going after them for things that are going to alienate them from their families. He'll attack them, but he won't go after a business that's stealing thousands from you, millions from the community. He won't do it. He won't go after a politician that is stealing millions. He won't go after attorneys or the good old boys crew. But he's going to come after that black man or that black boy or that Hispanic girl that goes into a gas station and takes, well, not anymore because they didn't make that, but he used to. He used to do that. He's not going after the true criminals. Why? Why isn't he going after pulling cars? Why isn't he going after Burstein? We're not in a pandemic. It's been well chronicled and well established by epidemiologists, by immunologists, by virologists, by science, by research, by the data, by the CDC, by WHO, by NIH, by the UN. All of these agencies have clearly documented and articulated we are not in a pandemic. The numbers don't rise to that. So why is John Flynn not gone after these people? So I got off a little bit of a tangent there. The point was that our groups that we're creating right now, hey Joe, what's going on? Our groups that we've created are getting more powerful and stronger and more capable. And we have got to be careful, because what is going to happen is the FBI has already tried. They've already done it. They do the same. It's the same MO every single time, guys. This is why we stay nimble. This is why we stay anonymous. This is why we stay small. This is why we don't take money in. All the things that Antifa does, the same things that we're doing now. There's no head of it. You gave us the examples. You gave us the models and how to operate. Dems and libs. You know, extremist Dems and libs. Sorry for the rest of the group that are Dems and libs. The far leftists, I should have said. The extremists. Antifa, BLM. You gave us the model. Thank you. But what's going to happen is FBI is going to come in, and even if there isn't anything wrong, they're going to conflate. Hey, what's up, Mark? Great to see you. Nicole, great to see you. They're going to conflate or outright exaggerate or outright lie about something that happened within the organization. And then what happens is you get the one FBI agent or some other acronym agent, and then they're going to have multiples, or they're going to co-opt and corrupt one person or two or three people in the group. And what they're going to try to do then is undermine and devalue. They're going to get everybody, the membership, to try to question what is happening. They're going to try to get everybody to be divided so that they could completely erode, and that's what they do. That's what they have done to countless organizations before this. This is how they operate in countries. Other countries, they do the same thing. Try to do it. You be aware of that. Stick together. No matter what, you stick together. Then the next thing that they're going to do is they're going to bring the tax department in. right? They're going to bring the tax department in, and they're going to say you're collecting money or you're doing this and you shouldn't be doing it. The media is going to be all over it, right? They're going to glom right onto it, and they're going to talk about, how it's so bad, right? These people are taking millions and millions and millions and lying and psychological warfare and indoctrination and communism and everything else that they are doing and committing illegally. But you taking $1,000 in these groups, they're going to make that seem the worst thing ever. And whether it's true or whether it's not, they're going to make it seem like the worst thing ever. And if you're able to persevere and last beyond that, each one of our groups, then what's going to happen is they're going to then they got to step up their game. So what they're trying to do is then they're going to try to get Antifa, Black Lives Matter, they're going to try to get them to say that we did something illegal against them. That's what they do. Where's the proof? Where's the evidence? They're not going to have it. And why we have our attorneys and we have our Justice League is because they can defend us. That's why that's why we have our legal research team, to be able to help defend us against that. We know the attacks that are coming. So now, if none of that works at all, then what is the be-all, end-all, go-to for the acronym agencies? Well, they're a terrorist group, right? They're a domestic terrorist group. They're an extremist group. You already see Channel 7 and all these other news media outlets planting those seeds. So for most people, it's not going to be a stretch. For John Flynn, it's certainly not going to be, yep. He took a 21, 22-year-old woman, mother of two, who was out trying to deliver because he shut down, Mark Poloncarz has shut everything down. She's trying to deliver food. You saw how Byron Brown and John Flynn both tried to make that immigrant, that woman, that mother, look like an extremist. And they did it. And they arrested her. And she's answering charges for that. You saw how Michael Crevin, they did the same thing to him. The same exact thing to him. And countless, person after person, motorcycle group in this area, Second Amendment group, that's how they operate. That's what they do. Well, we have their game plan now. And the thing that frightens the hell out of them, guys, Irina, what's up? The thing that frightens the hell out of them, guys, is this. Not just because we know their playbook. Because it's not enough to know the playbook. They can still execute the playbook even though you know it. What they're terrified of is the community. They're terrified because their numbers aren't that great. They know their numbers aren't that great. We know their numbers aren't that great. We know that we can impact and affect change. And they know that we know a ton of people within their organizations, law enforcement, any of the acronym agencies, Border Patrol, government agencies, the courts. We know people that hate what they're doing but comply or go along because they don't want to know their jobs. So that, combined with our numbers and our togetherness and the collectiveness that we have, the collective that we have, and those bonds that we're creating, we really truly know one another. Because what they bank on is you separating you and then cutting the head off and making an example of you. The problem now is that there are thousands of us that are going to rise up. They do that to one of us. They're like, that is bullshit. That is nonsense. And not only are we going to say it's bullshit and it's nonsense, we are coming out in droves. And it is going to be an all-out attack on whatever it is in a legal way, all-out attack on them. With local online digital media and doing what we need to do against them. And on social media doing against what they're doing. And criminally, how to hold them, that individual from the FBI, that infiltrator, that individual, that politician. We know how to hold them personally and civilly and criminally accountable. We know how to do that. We have the game plan now. We know how to go after them. So when you're afraid, guys, to step up, don't. Antifa is nothing. Their numbers are nothing. These acronym agencies and these law enforcement, we have so many of them on our side. And those that aren't, they're going to be pushed out of office very quickly with our rating system that we have. But they also know that we are going to stand together and rise up. Not with hundreds like Antifa and BLM was when they were paid to do that, but with thousands. Colleen, what's going on? Great to see you on. but with thousands of us. And not only are we standing, now we're organized. We know how to go after that individual. We know how to go after that organization. We know how to go after them and hold them accountable. They don't get to hide behind their badge. They don't get hide behind that agency anymore. You don't. So don't be afraid of Antifa, guys. Rise up. If you want to do something, do it anonymously. Do it in a group that, you're over here and they're not going to see if you're worried about it. I'm telling you, you don't have to be worried about it. To stand with the groups or to join any one of the groups that are out there right now, I'm going to go march. Will there be Antifa watching this? Absolutely. Will they be there with BLM? Probably. Guaranteed. But guess what? I don't care. Come on out. Maybe we could share some hot cocoa. Maybe we can actually have a conversation, a communication. Luke, great to see you, brother. 2 o'clock today, guys, for everybody that's left. 2 o'clock over at Corner Union in Walden. I'll be out there with the flag. Some people are joining me. Some people aren't. This is just a very casual, impromptu. This is a marching Patriots, a rolling Patriots, save our seniors. It's nothing like that. But we had nothing else going on today. I figured that I would give everybody an opportunity to come out if they want. And if it's just me, that's great too. But come on out and join me. I know it's going to be me, Joe, and Max at least. So don't be afraid. I've said it so many times that these organizations are not that big. If you take all the town employees, all the court employees, all the county employees, and everything else like that, they maybe number into 10,000. Maybe. We have 840,000. And of that 10,000 people that they have, most of them are feeling and thinking like we do. Most of them. Maybe it's 20,000 they have. Maybe it's 50,000 that they have. I don't know. Most of them feel and think like we do. Our numbers are hundreds of thousands of more people than what they have. But they want to operate with that misconception and giving us that fear that they are so big and insurmountable, and they're not. So with DC coming up, guys, we need you guys to hold down the fort here. Most of the local Antifa, they will be going down. Most of the antagonists, the aggressors, the criminals, the terrorists, they're going to be going down to DC as well. We'll need all you guys to hold down the fort while we're here. Most of us we'll go down for the 6th and we'll be right back. So we're not going to be gone long. But if you guys do want to find out what to go to, please text message me. That's going to be the best way to do it. Yeah, absolutely, Sharon. That's their MO, and we know it. We know how they operate. We know what they're going to do. Do I feel like Washington, D.C. is going to be a little bit of a tinderbox? For sure, I do. I think that everybody's got to exercise caution. David Horton came out and said that to everybody in the Watchman, and he's imploring everybody else to make sure that you're tempered. And that's the way we need to go into DC. We need to go into DC being balanced and calm, clear thinking. Good morning, Jen. We need to make sure that whatever they do, guys, wear your cameras, get your body cameras, get your comms going with your groups. Make sure you have a list of all the names in the group that you're with. Make sure you have rally points. Make sure everybody knows where you're meeting at the very beginning. Make sure you know that you know where you're meeting at the end. Make sure that you wear boots. Make sure you wear baggy clothing. Make sure you wear a helmet. If you can get body armor, make sure you're getting body armor. Or there's a number of other pieces of things that you guys can get to protect yourselves. Protect your necks. Wear goggles, wear your face masks. Do all of that when you're going down there. At least be prepared. Bring provisions, bring water, all right? If you feel like you can't come down, okay, so Sharon said that they've already closed down all of the gas stations and convenience stores and grocery stores. So bring provisions, guys. You got to bring food. You're going to have to bring water. Hey, John, great hearing you sing last night, brother. That was awesome. Be prepared, travel light, travel very light, but be prepared. And you guys know what other items to bring. I'm not going to talk about them. You guys know what to bring. You guys know how to protect yourselves. You know what to expect from Antifa. They will be using commercial grade fireworks. They will have their knives, being ready to stabbing people. They will have their zappers that they've got. They're going to have, their bear spray. They're going to have all of those things. They're going to have spray paint. They're going to have all of those things. Clubs, billy clubs. They'll have their hammers. They'll have their knives, of course. But here's the thing. Here's the beautiful thing. When I've been down there and in the supposed stronghold of Antifa and BLM, the most that we have seen is 4,000 to 5,000. That's it. That is the most that you have seen. Now, law enforcement numbers in about 4,000 to 5,000 as well in Washington, D.C. That's how many law enforcement officers they have. Now, if they decide to bring in other people or the military, which I don't think are going to engage, I don't think that the military under Trump is going to engage unless it's against Antifa. The one terrorist organization that has been recognized as a terrorist organization, Antifa, unless they're going to come out after Antifa. I don't know what Antifa's numbers are going to be. Antifa here likes you to think that they have hundreds and hundreds or thousands and thousands of members. They don't. That right now they have probably about 25 people that are active, and even they hate each other. They can't stand each other. And so there's going to be a lot of fear. These people are cowards, right? They're going to be hopped up on drugs, though, the people that do come. We know that. They're going to be using coke, they're going to heroin, and everything else that they could possibly do and use. We've seen them firsthand, all lit up. So you have to exercise caution. Stay in groups. Stay tight. Have in your phone the list of everybody that's there, but also on a hard piece of paper. Have your maps, guys. If they shut down communications, have your hard maps. Go to Google Maps, print it out, bring it with you. Print out 100 and bring them with you so that you have them. Make sure you guys have walkie-talkies. Please have walkie-talkies. Shortwave radios. If you guys use shortwave radios to communicate with one another, do that. Your CB radios, whatever you have to do to bring to ensure that everybody that you come in with is safe and protected. Pete, well, do you feel like the military is going to engage? I don't. Not us anyways. Do I feel like the military would engage, the mayor of D.C., under Trump, if that person decides to go radical, even more leftist and communist and terrorist than they already have? I feel like that's a possibility. Do I feel, how many people of Antifa do you think are going to be there? And, what do you think that the DC police are going to act? All I can speak is historically how they've responded. They've responded respectfully. They've been buttoned up. They haven't necessarily been for us, but they haven't been against us. Okay. I know that, they hate Antifa. They hate Antifa. But some of the, DC police believe that our groups are white supremacy groups. That's what they believe. No matter what, you can know how you show them, that's what they believe. So some of them do hate us as well. So how will they react? Well, what they've done in the past, they've got their vans and they're on bikes and they set up lines of people, arm in arm, arm to arm, shoulder to shoulder, so people can't get through their lines, okay? So you have to be careful. They haven't pulled their weapons yet, but if they needed to protect themselves or one of their fellow officers, that is a possibility. Antifa are going to be the aggressors. We know that. We need to stand down. If we're marching and Antifa throws something at us, you cannot engage them. You have to keep walking with one another. You have to. You have to stay together as a unit. If you are hurt or injured or unable to carry on, you will have to pull you out, but there will be 3 people that are going to go with you, okay? So that you will be protected. And you will put you in a safe place with law enforcement so law enforcement can help assist you get back to your hotel. Okay? If you feel like you cannot go down there, or you feel like this is, in my opinion, this is not going to be that rah-rah event. So when you're coming down, know that and be prepared. Wear your boots, guys. Steel-toed boots. Make sure you have them. Make sure you have your gloves. Make sure you have multiple layers on. Make sure you have your body armor on, your elbow pads, your knee pads, everything. Make sure you have it. It's game time. Good morning, Brian. And we have to be buttoned up. And if you are unsure what protocols are and what we're going to be doing and how we're going to be, out there conducting operations, that will be a conversation we'll have on the ride down, or that'll be a conversation as we get there. But staging points, we have to have hourly rally points. We have to know everybody, get those lists, get those names on lists that everybody is accounted for. Everybody has to be accounted for, guys. Now, what is our mission going down there? Our mission going down there is to be peaceful. That's our mission. That's the objective. However, we're there for support for those organizations, those groups that have, that are comprised of ex-military, that are comprised of ex-law enforcement, that are comprised of ex-acronym officials. Those are going to be the groups and the individuals that are going to know exactly what to do when we're down there. Proud Boys and Watchmen, we are support personnel for them and what activities they have. Marching Patriots, other groups and other Patriot groups like us, we are support personnel for Watchmen, for Proud Boys. That's what we are. We are a last line of defense for those groups and organizations. We don't want to engage. But if we are forced to engage, we will. So if somebody throws something, do not engage. You stay. We're supposed to all be buttoned up, all covered up. Everything is going to be protected. And we're going to move forward. And we're going to continue to move forward. And guys, if you're not ready to go get your body armor, if you're not ready to get your boots, if you're not ready to get your knee pads and elbow pads to go down there, and your masks and your goggles and your helmets and your hoodies and everything else that you need to get, then don't come down, because you will end up being a liability. Because Antifa and Black Lives Matter and these other terrorist groups that are out there, they are what we call opportunistic. They are exploiters. They are cowards. So what they will do is they will go after the one person just like they do now. They will go after that couple that isn't protected. They will go after that old man on a bike and they will attack him. They will go after that old woman. We have seen it. And they do that because they are trained to do that. That is exactly how they are trained, because they want that visual. That's all they want. And they won't show that they're the aggressors, just like with Channel 7 News. They won't show that they attacked Stefan Mihailu. What they'll show is the aftermath. And that's what they're looking for. Stay together in DC. From the time you get there to the time you leave, you are on mission. You have to be on point. You have to be thinking collectively as the group, and you have to be following what the orders are, who the leaders of the group are. Decisions have to be made decisively. You do not question those decisions as they are being made. The best decisions are being deliberated over and gone over, and we're working to make the best decision that we can, to work together and keep as many people safe as we can. Afterwards, you deliberate over it. What could we have done a little bit better? So, if you're considering bringing kids, I would strongly recommend against bringing kids that are under the age of 18, unless they're strong, unless you know that they're trained in martial arts, they've been trained in something, if they've trained in a weapon. If they're out from the farm or they're trained with a weapon, bring them out. But we are a peacekeeping mission. That's what everybody is going down to DC for. We're prepared for the worst. We're prepared to be called to action. But we are there for a peacekeeping mission. That's it. Just like the other two. But my feeling is that DC mayor, And the antagonists and the terrorist organizations are going to do everything that they can to incite violence, just like they have. We have to be better. We have to rise above that, just like David Horton said. You guys see me say it all the time. We have to rise above that and resist the temptation and inclination to pay attention to the gnat. We have a bigger, much bigger objective. And that's what they want. They want the distractions to happen. You don't pay attention to that. If they come in and they hit you with something, or they hit you with a taser, or they punch you in the face, or they spray you in the face, or whatever it is, there will be the biggest mistake that those people make. The biggest mistake that those people make, because not only are there going to be hundreds and thousands of people that are going to descend on them instantly, but DC police are now arresting them. They no longer, where it's all on video, and that's why these guys, you cannot have your cameras out, cannot have the phones out. Got to have GoPros, you got to have cameras, you got to have them. Go out and get them. You can get them anywhere locally. You can order them up in time. Get those cameras. We need to have those cameras, because what's happening finally are local law enforcement, in DC police specifically, and the acronym agencies are using this information and using it against Antifa and Black Lives Matter. Finally. So when we're buttoned up, when we're calm, when they act first and we react in a measured way, all right? You cannot be laying boots and doing all that. You can only react with an equal amount coming back. That's it. It cannot be elevated and escalated. You take out the threat, you disable them, and then you give them to police. And then DC police will take them. And that's how we conduct ourselves. If you're not that kind of person that can't stand somebody screaming in your face or hitting a baton at you, you should not be going, because then you're a liability, guys. If you're going to be reactionary in a negative way because that's going to happen to you, you cannot be down there. And hopefully within this year, we'll be able to get more and more people trained in how to handle themselves in these conflicts. But if you're not that person, don't go down. So we've got big groups that are going down. We're trying to stage and meet. If you have any questions, please reach out. I'm going to be very active with Facebook Messenger, trying to get back to as many people as I can. Tomorrow I got to talk to Jackie, guys, because we have multiple things going on at the same time from 11 to 1 at the hockey center that's out in Amherst. We have that protest going on. We're going to be there to support those mothers and those kids. That's the important one. That's an extremely important one. Then we've got the Bills game. Frank Coleman and we will be out there protesting and, getting out there and to call attention to everything that's going out there. I believe that game is at 1 o'clock, so I will have to leave the hockey arena early. Now, Save Our Seniors was supposed to be scheduled for 2 p.m., and I think that I'm going to talk with Jackie and try to figure out what it is that we can do that makes sense for tomorrow. If we need to move it, we will. But you guys have everything that's happening right now. 2 p.m., just another hour and 45 minutes. I'll be over at the Corner Union in Walden if you guys want to, hang out. I'm not going to probably march just because the sidewalks are going to have some snow and be a little bit tough to navigate, but we will be standing there at least. If everybody wants to march and walk up and down, get a little bit of exercise, we'll do that. Thank you for your time, guys. If you've got any questions, let me know. If anything else does happen, I will by all means come on a little bit later. I'll probably do a little live from the corner of Walden and Union. But love you guys very much, and I'll see you later. Bye.